Okay, welcome back to the world of Wartales. This video is just being put together to cover a little bit of the release, show you a couple of things that I actually forgot to talk about in one of my videos released very recently on the early access features. So I'll talk through the paths as well as to go through the roadmap that Shiro have just released as well. So I'm very excited about the roadmap that's come out. A couple of little things that have popped up pretty much directly as a result of feedback from the community on Discord, which is really good to see. So, early access being used for what it's meant to be, developers listening to players, making suggestions, and coming up with different bits and pieces. So it's really cool. Okay, so first of all, just want to quickly talk through paths. So this is actually one of the really cool features of the game that I actually didn't cover in the early access features. It has been implemented up to a point so far, and it's just a way to really keep giving you ideas on different ways that you can progress in the game and different things that you can do as well. So overall, Wartales is not a heavily story or narrative driven game in that you don't have one overarching story that links all the regions together and that kind of thing. So you are looking for different ways to challenge yourself as you move from region to region and looking at all the different things you can do in this world. It is a very open game and you've got a ton of different things you can do. The path system gives you a little bit of a clue as to some of the things that you might be aiming for. It's broken down into 4 different sections, so power and might, trade and wealth, crime and chaos, and mysteries and wisdom. Between the 4 of them, pretty much any action that you take in the game, sorry, I'll just close my party there, any action you take in the game will actually give you points towards your progress. Now they are capped at level 5, very similar to the way that characters are capped at level 5 in the early access so far. And as you progress through the different things, you just earn different points and give yourself or gain yourself different leveling bonuses as well. So at level 3 and level 5, they've implemented some new missions or quests. Now these are really cool quests because they can actually span multiple regions. So normally the quests that you get, you take within one region, you stay within that region, and you can finish it all there. With the missions that you get from the paths, they do actually link the regions together in a bigger way. So for instance, with the trade and wealth, what you're actually trying to do is set up trading between the merchants in 2 different counties as you go through and complete those, which I think is a really nice touch. It's a good way to link the regions together so you don't feel like they're too disparate. Now, having said that, there are things that do link the regions together. They're not completely separate. Things like refugees flooding from one war-torn province into the neighbouring province, causing a bit of a crisis within that province. So there are things that link them together. But the path system, I think, just helps really tie it in to make it an actual world, which is great. As I said, pretty much any action you take will actually earn you points in these, so you can see that by buying and selling trade goods you can actually make some money, and when you do that it actually means that purchasing trade goods in the future costs even less. So the more things you purchase, the more money you can make. Selling lots of things, increasing your sale price, that sort of stuff. So usually the bonus you get is related to the thing that you're doing, and it's not necessarily something you specifically have to push for. It will just happen more naturally over time. Except with crime and chaos. I feel like crime and chaos is probably the standout of the 4 here. So for crime and chaos, a lot of the activities that you want to try to do here take a much more conscious decision to take. So hours spent being wanted. So if you get your suspicion meter up and above this little line here, your suspicion will make you wanted by the guard, and the guard will then start chasing you. So you've obviously got to decide that that's what you're after in the game. All of the other actions and activities in there are quite a conscious decision as well. So things like highwaymen, winning battles against merchants, winning battles against guardsmen, that kind of thing. You've really got to make a decision because they won't naturally attack you. However, definitely a path you can take in the game. So one little warning with the crime and chaos path, the mission that you get at level 3, you do end up having to pick up let's say someone important to the black market and escorting them around a little bit, and it will actually cause you to get into a few fights with guardsmen pretty much as soon as you do take that mission. So when you see it pop up, it might be one that you want to wait on because fighting guardsmen is no mean feat depending on the difficulty level. And then Mysteries and Wisdom, this is the one that you kind of get mostly from exploring around the world. Obviously there are a couple little coming soon still because we're in early access, and I expect to see these get expanded quite a significant amount. Alrighty, cool. So one of the next things that I wanted to chat about was the roadmap that Shiro have released. So it's available via Discord. I'm not too sure, they might have published it on Steam as well. But basically the roadmap is looking at a couple of things the community have been chatting about in Discord and making suggestions on. And there are currently 5 things that have been listed in there. So the first is an Iron Man mode, which I'm very excited about. So at the moment, the way that save games work is that you have an autosave and your main file save. An Iron Man mode obviously means no saving at any point, and if you take a bad fight at the wrong time, such as when your stamina bar has run out and been depleted, so your stamina bar up the top here, your companions all actually lose 30% strength and dexterity, so they're much less able to fight at that point in time as well. So Iron Man mode will be quite an exciting addition to the game. I think definitely one I'm going to be making use of. They are looking at adding in more character customization. So at the moment, with all of your troops, they come with set, facial features, hair, clothes, boots, everything like that. You can't change any of those. So they are looking at adding in some more character customization, which is a nice addition. I think, it's not necessarily content from my point of view, or something I think that has to be in really early in the EA, but a lot of people are asking for it. And look, it would be cool adding in a little bit more customization. I think you feel, just that little bit more connection to your group if you can do that. The next thing is a tutorial. So at the moment, when you kick the game off, you do start in the region of Tiltron County, which is over in this location over on the right, and there is no tutorial on how to do basic actions, pay your people, eat food, accept quests, that kind of thing. There's no first quest that you should be doing, and I have to say the first time I actually played the game, so you start kind of over in this region, I actually ran off and completely avoided this giant town that was here, and I just kind of ran off and did this huge loop through these houses, fields, forests, and I ended up finishing the game, the demo, without even seeing the main town in my first run, which I found quite entertaining. So I think the tutorial will just allow people a slightly lower bar of entry into the game. There's going to be a ton of stuff that won't be covered by the tutorial, and a lot of smaller features that people probably won't notice too much until you really get into the meat of the game. And every time I dig a little bit deeper, there's always something else to find, which is fun. I think I've racked up quite a few hours now, and I am still not across everything in the game, which is scary but also fun. As well as the tutorial at the start of the game and Iron Man mode, so more options on how you want to begin. The starting options are also going to potentially include something that turns off level scaling. So level scaling's been something that has been talked about a fair bit in the Discord, and it's copped a bit of flack, I guess, in terms of the game design. You don't want to be running around and, I think as one person's put it, killing some drunkards at level 5 with your elite mercenary company, that kind of thing. Or you don't, want those same drunkards to have hundreds of health and hundreds of armor and just be damage sponges. So it is a really cool thing that Shiro are looking into that, and I'm kind of curious to see. I think there's a few ways they can go to address level scaling, and we will see what happens. So keen to watch that space. And then their 5th and final point on the roadmap is additional new content. Now, I'm not too sure what the additional new content may be. From looking at the paths just before, there's a couple of little things in there that are coming soon. Only 1 or 2 though. And then in terms of the missions, I think all the new missions have been added in already. So kind of curious to see. There's a few things I'm excited about, but I'm not too sure when they will end up actually making it in. In Q1 2022, they have added a few things that they're looking at adding in for content, including new regions, level caps, more hostile creatures, something called Forsaken Villages, skills for your animals. So at the moment, you can actually get ponies and wolves and things that are at different levels, but they have no skills and no specializations. So that's going to be an interesting one. I don't know that ponies will get skills. I mean, I guess they will because they've got this whole pony skill tree. I would like a skillful pony. I'm not too sure about all of you, but a skillful pony captain even may be fun. I may not give this guy a captaincy because he's lazy, and no one wants a lazy captain, but we'll see. And much more. So we will see. So if you want to have a look at that roadmap, I will include a screenshot, I think, just towards the end of this video, so that you can kind of have a look at it and see it. But for full access to it, you know, you can jump on Discord as well, and it's just under the Wartales news channel there. Overall, I think the release has gone pretty well. It does look like they're very focused on bug fixes to start with, which is great to see, just so that people don't have as many crashes or problems as they move through the game. Definitely, stability is always something that the developers will work on when it first gets released. So it seems to be performing pretty well. I think I'm about maybe 11 or 12 hours into this run with this party, a couple of months in, and I haven't had a single crash actually, so it's been quite smooth for me. I might have just gotten lucky and dodged some of the bugs that have happened though. For those of you playing early access already, please keep enjoying. For those of you sitting on the fence, feel free to ask any questions in the chat or comments below, and I will address them as I can. Thanks for listening. Bye.